rolling whenever you're ready. Hello, I'm Eagle, Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram. This is fucking Talking Shit with Eagle, episode 593. I've got somebody we all respect in the cannabis community, Mr. Chad Westport. How you doing, my friend? You want to tell us how you're doing and where they can find you if they're living under a rock?
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. I'm stoked to be here with you again. But yeah, I'm Chad Westport, and easily you can find me. My website, chadwestport.com. Instagram is chad.westport. But a lot of people may know me from Future Cannabis Project. Got a series of shows over there and kind of focusing and supporting the home grower, man. That's my deal. And supporting this great community that we're a part of. So thank you for having me back on, Eagle. I'm stoked to make the round two of the Eagle Garden Show.
Oh, that was an easy callback there, Chad. I mean, like I said, you're a well-respected person in the community, and I respect you myself. So, it was a no-brainer on this one, and it was something we need to do.
Yeah.
So, I guess I want to start this off with what we're smoking, because we should be smoking through this. Hopefully, you got something to smoke this. And I'm going to apologize right in advance. And this is one of the beautiful things about being a grower right here, Mr. Westport, is you're going to probably see me lighting my fucking joint several times.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you right now, the ash on this will probably be a little dark
Okay.
because it's straight out of the fucking dryer because I couldn't wait.
Is it a new strain, something new, or?
Yeah. Yeah, I obviously have dry, ready cannabis, but this is, I'm watching the dryer, this is the first one, and I've actually been watching the numbers go down, and I'm like, oh, I know the dryer, so when it gets to a certain point, I can probably fish some of these little, airier buds out of there for a fresh taste. You know what I mean? And oh man, I kind of picked out of it earlier. I'm glad I did. Or it's good enough. I'm picking again. Let's put it that way. And this is some of MedGrower One's Primal Punch times Mac One,
Ooh.
and it is so delicious that, like I said, it was worth picking back to kind of possibly smoke something like that. But it's so tasty. I was telling you, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going back in for this one. So excuse me if I'm flicking the lighter a little bit, but I may be going the whole time as well. So
Licking your lips, looking at the joint, hitting it, looking at it again. Like, oh yeah. Oh, that's good, man. I just pulled down some Twin Peaks from Skunk VA. It's a chem cross, and yeah, I've it's still drying. It's in the jars now, but sometimes those little popcorn buds, that's what they're good for. You leave a few on there and you get your early smoke on. But
the
right
taste your
now,
buds, the taste your
yeah, right now I'm gonna go for a diesel glue, which is oh god, it's amazing. It just smells like a I don't know, sherbet, Tropicana sherbet or something. But it's one of these strains from a oh, that didn't work. And everything's always backwards. That's always interesting here. But it's from a European seed bank and it was sold as diesel glue. So you would assume kind of diesel, you would assume some GG4 in there. But no, like Tropicana Sunrise or Sherbert, it is just freaking, I love it. It was the happy mistake. I was hoping for a GG4, totally opposite, totally happy with it. Wish I would have cloned it. It grew kind of funny, but I have more seeds so I could grow it again. I didn't know it was going to turn out this good.
That's funny. Sometimes you don't, man. Sometimes we throw down some. What was it? Were you lucky enough that it was a thumb anyway? Did you grow it out from a thumb
I think it
or any
is
seed in general?
Yeah, I grew it out from a seed. I think it is a feminized seed because I only popped one of them to toss a bunch of things in the garden to try something new. And yeah, lucky I got the one female, but I think it is femmed. It seems like a lot of the European seed banks, almost the assumption is safe to be like, oh, it's a fem instead of a regular these days, it seems.
Well, that's a plus. That more likely you'll get back to where you were. You know what I mean? I think with that found.
Yeah, you're right. Hopefully I could get back to that same profile. And again, it's so strong. It would be weird if this was just like an outlier. And of course I would pop probably have six of them left. I gave some away as giveaways too. Somebody had answered a question about old rave pants. I don't know if you remember those big old wide rave pants that everybody used to wear. Jenkos.
Yeah, I remember more as like say the MC Hammer pants kind of that. Is that what we're referring to, or are we thinking of two different things? Like the
Kind
weightlifter
of.
pants that were like all different fluorescent colors and shit. Damn near.
Nobody like to get roundhouse in a pair of these
I,
pants.
I think MC Hammer brought them to fashion, but I think the weightlifters at the time kind of adopted them.
Yeah. Oh, they did, dude. Oh, I see T Barrington in chat. Jenkos. Yep. All about the Jenkos. But yeah, those pants are funny. Just a side note, I did go see MC Hammer once, and this was long after he stopped being famous. And of course, he saved Can't Touch Us Till Last. And it was sad because he had a few more songs to do afterwards. But no shit, half of the crowd started filing out the second he finished that song. I was like, ooh, I felt so bad. We were leaving too. And the girl I was with at the time, I'm like, we got to stay. We got to stay.
Yeah, there was other good songs on that CD. God, why does it sound so weird to even say CD anymore? I mean, you're about my age. We went through well the finishing ends of 8 track
Yep.
to
Yep.
cassette. We lived through to CD, which is now like our and album.
Mm-hmm.
A vinyl. We've seen the death of all the above. And it took me for a long time to quit referring to album or again a CD collection, music collection as a CD, album, cassette. I mean, so what is the proper term now? You know what I mean? As a release. I mean, now that it's
MP3.
digital, mainly digital. I don't know. It's weird. Fun times, though, man. Good music, and fun times.
Yeah, yeah. I guess MP3 is the appropriate term, but it is. I was talking about this the other day. It's weird not having a physical copy of something because yeah, we go to the store and save and go, Tower Records was in Seattle and that was, the big spot. And oh man, it's a different ball game.
So I'm in my Zen place. Cannabis takes me to my Zen place. You know, it always has. All the whole time, mainly, cannabis has always kind of taken me to my happy place. Always, I guess. There's always been that after work joint or that joint with a friend and a good conversation, or
Yeah.
just hanging out in the garden after a long day, stressful day, or even through a stressful time, just kind of wander in there and lose myself to the space and kind of be in a good place in the world with myself. And further extension of that has been this in the cannabis community. I find this whole thing to be very zen. You know what I mean? An escape from the bullshit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? To hang with some amazing, like-minded folks. You know what I mean? And I put a lot of time into this myself, and I know you put a lot of time into this as well. And when it becomes not so zen,
Right, right.
uh, it's hard not to take it to heart. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because it is your zen place. You know, and there's kind of been not so zen lately. You know what I mean? With a lot of stuff going on lately, and I don't know. How do you feel it as well? Is it just me? Sometimes
Oh,
it's one of them things, man. Everybody can feel it. You know what I
right.
mean?
There's a disturbance in the force, Luke. Yeah, no, I absolutely feel that, and you're right. It is a Zen space. It's ask majority of these gardeners, anybody in chat, where is your Zen space? Where do you just kind of go to release the stresses of the day? Maybe just kind of like blank out your mind, and kind of just let vibrations come to you. And for most people, that is in the garden. And when it comes to podcasts and just the community like this, that is an extension of the garden, because again, we're all social creatures, and having the community is really important, to me, and kind of having harmony in that community is very important to me as well. And it's one of those things where we're we're a small fraction of the world's interests, and what people can do. And we are talking music and formats a second ago, and for the longest time I am a DJ, and so people would sell vinyl, and people listen to dance music, and Buddy would make a record and it's selling good and he's on top of the world, and that's great. But you got to remember, you're like 5% of the people who purchase music. So when we think of, or when I think about it in that context, it's like, yes, cannabis is a big community, and there's a lot of different areas and places to go, but at the end of the day, we're still a small community that's interconnected. And I feel a lot of times, disharmony maybe between some other people or some other groups, it kind of spills over, whether it's something that I maybe see on Instagram, maybe it's something that people bring into chat and be like, oh, did you see the meme of XYZ today? And again, something I want to talk about too, we'll get into, is just maybe like rules of engagement, because it's fun to play around, it's fun to have fun. The internet is kind of a place for that, but it'd be great if we could find a line of, what do you do when you can tell it's not going the right way? So yeah, I do feel a little disharmony to answer the question, and it is very important to me to have this harmony, because it's the escape, man. If there's a lot of bad news out there you can read if you wanted to, so it's not like it's hard to find if you want to.
Oh, I definitely agree. From the way we kind of communicate with each other a little bit, I think the internet kind of makes it a little vague. You know what I mean? I actually found this. Anybody that probably talks to me in the fucking DM or a text type, uh, back and forth, will realize I emoji the shit out of a lot of things. And that's because I
Yeah.
learned a little bit earlier on, because of the way I spoke anyway, I was leaving interpretation, too much interpretation. You know
Yes.
what I mean? When, like, fucker. I mean, the same, that the word I love and use so much. You know what I mean? You can put that simple word fucker in a DM, and you can be like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, is he pissed? What the fuck? Or if you know me, you'd be, hey, fucker. You know what I mean? Come on, let's go, fucker. And, but without an emoji anymore, I found it's too fucking vague. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I have to actually go, fucker, smiley face, palm. You
Yes.
know what I
Yes.
mean? Otherwise, and, you know, it is fun until a line gets hurt.
Mhm.
That line to where somebody's feelings are hurt. And I think at that point, it's not fun anymore. And I think because of the internet, that line is so blurry these days. You know what I mean? From knowing that you're actually doing damage. And that's
Mhm.
another thing. Later, I didn't necessarily, you always heard that phrase when you're a kid, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt me. Words I've learned later in life can be some of the worst psychological damage you can do to somebody. They can
100%.
carry that shit around for a long time.
Yeah.
And when I see that kind of negative comments, and I'm seeing it from all angles. And where does it stop? You know what I mean? When
Mhm.
do we stop trying to interject our point and respect the others and call it enough? Let's call it a day. Shake hands.
Yeah.
Change the subject. You know what I mean? Because this is our happy place, and it should be like that. That's the way I grew up. You know what I mean? I have fist fought with a lot of my best friends, to be honest with you. And later that evening or the next day, it was like nothing ever happened. You sure got a good one on me, kind of pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this, man. God, I didn't even see it coming. You know what I mean? But that's the way I think things should be. We should be able to agree to disagree, and tomorrow, the next day, come right back at it and feel like I'm not have been insulted or insulted you by my dismeanor. That weed's got me. Dang
Nice.
cottonmouth. Anyway,
Get it started already. But yeah, no, I totally understand and agree with what you're saying there. It's hard sometimes to kind of almost find that line or know the line of like, okay, we need to walk this back, or we just kind of need to drop it. We need to let it. And one thing that makes it really hard, and the one thing that really sucks and kind of makes it a little more personal when you're on the receiving end, is just kind of like herd mentality. And herd mentality is something that I'm sure we all understand. We've probably all been part of the herd, and we've all probably been on the other end of the herd at some point. But and especially, and this comes to guests, I guess, when it comes to like guests that will come on a show, or they're putting themselves out there, you know I will readily admit some people fucking ask for it. They're douches or idiots or whatever, but you don't need to point it out. Life is already taking care of that for these people. Everybody can see it. But people are putting themselves out there, and when you have that like herd mentality, that kind of seems to be what hurts the most. Because again, it feels like you're getting ganged up on, and we all do this, whether it's subliminal, whether it's important, maybe it's your primary focus. Everybody loves peer recognition. It's just a human thing. I still to this day get excited if I'm like watching a show and I'm in chat and I like say something and then they put my comments up on the screen. I'm like, dude, look, it's me on the screen. It's just that little bit of peer recognition that we all kind of, again, whether we know we crave it or not, it's there. And so when people are putting themselves out there, and yeah, people may say something, but then it just snowballs and it keeps going. That's what we kind of need to try to avoid, or at least be conscious of, like you said, the damage that it can inflict, because words hurt a lot more than fucking physical pain. That's been my experience. I can still remember some things that have been said to me over. Perfect example, and I don't even know this for a fact. Episode 270, Eagle, brother. This was my first time on your show. It was one of the first few interviews I ever did. Now, there's no comments up for that show, and I don't know why that is, but I suspect it's because I talked about 99.9% of that episode. Um, and I was kind of new. I was nervous. I said, I just rattled off. But in that chat, again, I'm assuming, and don't say anything about it, but I'm just assuming that there were some people that may have been a little mean. Again, it's probably herd mentality. It's easy to do that. It's easy to snowball. But at the same time, it's probably a lot of the people that I call friends today. So it's weird, or maybe it's important to remember that in the moment, it may be fun to poke fun at somebody, but you might shoot yourself in the foot for cutting off relationships in the future.
Yeah, some episodes, that's your episode. I don't know why the comments aren't available on that episode.
I
I
was
had to look
self-conscious.
because no, there should be no reason why they're not up. Yeah, that's what, yeah. I actually thought you were referring to another episode that was taken down. Similar, good example. Good
Yeah.
example of the one episode that is like, I don't even know, too hot for YouTube. Well, it damn near.
I was there
It
for it.
didn't say, yeah, that one was, man, talk about a group mentality, you know what I mean? And I think sometimes that's a perfect example, I guess, because it starts out in a fun kind of way, or seemingly in a fun kind of way. A funny comment's made or two, and then somebody kind of reads that comment and goes, "Oh, that was funny," and then there's no reply or lashback. So why not add to it? You know what I mean? Why not, take off from that a little bit? And then it's times 50. And now it's not just one person, one dagger that's been received.
Yeah.
Now it's 50. Now it's the pylon. You're like, holy fuck, this whole community doesn't like me and shit. You know what I mean? And I couldn't, I just, again, this is the Zen place. You know what I mean? We talk so much about medical cannabis, or the powerful side of cultivating, you know what I mean? I would hate to see a bad instance in any kind of chat or show, to where it drove somebody not only away from this community, but away from the plant in general.
Yeah.
Just fuck that. Fuck that plant. Fuck that people. Fuck that. You know what I mean? And never be able to really live a comfortable quality life that they could have had with the plant or the community as it grows. So, I do. I love this place. These people mean the world to me. This whole thing, this plant, this whole adventure has steamrolled with me, and man, I'm completely guilty of this being like an outlet for me. You know what I mean? I get a lot of things for showing up every night, but man, I get as much out of doing this as anybody could possibly be watching this get out of it. You know what I mean? I need that social interaction, that social connection, just as much as anybody else does. You know what I mean? And I would hate and I've seen it actually the last couple of weeks. I've had quite a few rocks fucking thrown my way. I've actually been thrown out of a channel. I popped in, somebody told me, get the fuck out of here. I was like, what?
Jesus.
Yeah, yeah, I was actually seriously told, get the fuck out of my channel. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. And I was like, and it was a past
Okay.
gas. And I'm like, dude, I have done nothing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, so I have taken rocks. I know how it feels. That day, man, I walked around thinking, man, what? And I had to reflect all day long on what I've done. You know what I mean? I knowingly have done nothing to this person, but you know what I mean? Even though there's hard feelings, any good person would reflect on, what the fuck did I do to that person? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I would hate to see that, multiplied times 10 to any one person, you know what I mean? And driven away from this whole thing from negativity. You know what I mean? The negativity, it's gotta be cease and desist in the Zen place. I feel we've just gotta. It's such a beautiful community. You know what I mean? I don't even know what how the vibe got started, but you know what I mean? It is. I've seen it, like I said, for myself. I've seen it in chats. I've seen it panel member to panel member on shows. I've seen chat time show, hard feelings, you know what I mean? I've seen negativity building in like every corner. And that's another question I'd like to throw out, not just to myself, to everybody. And this conversation is open to everybody, not just me and Mr. Westport, the people in chat. Hopefully you're talking and thinking about what we're saying as well.
Yes.
Is why, we can beat our positive energy drum and we seem to just little strides, you know what I mean? Great person here, great person there, great person here. But why does that negative energy come through like a fucking thunderstorm? And
Right.
and people are so drawn to it like static electricity. Why is that? I can't, for the life of me, figure out why people are attracted to negativity like static electricity.
Well, when they're not making fun of, if they're making fun of somebody else, they're not making fun of you. So that's always the better position to be in. It's not the right mindset, but again, kind of boils down. I'd rather be looking in than looking out at a situation like that. A lot of, you know, and I think too, negative people will attract negative people, positive people will attract positive people, misery loves company, that type of thing. And you set a good example here with the show, not only with the sign off message that you do, that I've replicated and credited you with many times, and I hear other people do the same at other times. So it's like, as cheesy as it is be the change you, or what is it, be the change you wish to see. So true. So you're setting a positive example, and I think that's really drawn a lot of positive people here, a lot of community members. I mean, there's a lot of freaking wonderful people that hang around the show, and that's why I really love you and the show so much. Is you focus on the good, you focus on the zen. Again, news, you watch the news, it's easy to talk about or find bad news. There's almost just as much good news out there, but it doesn't sell, so not everybody talks about it. But fortunately, you find people who don't necessarily care about selling selling advertising space or whatever, and you could just focus on the important things. And that's an example that you set. And one thing I've seen in chat so far, a lot of chat, and again, thank you chat for chiming in. I think this is kind of a community conversation that we're having tonight. But one thing you said earlier, Eagle, is you use emojis a lot. I use emojis too, because so much is lost in text. If I'm having a bad day and you send me that DM that says, "What's up, fucker?" and I'm having a bad day, it's probably going to get interpreted differently than if I was, just having a great day and, we just had a fun conversation last night. So the emojis do help with that. That's one thing that doesn't always come across in text either. But yeah, that is important. And I kind of squirreled.
I got you. And that's another thing. I take a lot of heat sometimes for letting something slide in chat. You know what I mean? And I'll be the first to admit, I've let a few things go a little bit too far in some cases, but it's like at some point it's a valid point, and then in these couple instances they were valid points, and then they turned into what seemingly were just trying to pick apart or start arguments in chat. But for
Yeah.
the most part, when I see some type of negativity, and I talk about this a lot, is, second chances.
Yep.
You know, we all, like you're saying, we have all had been through bad spots, and like again, like you've hinted through, you don't know what is going on behind that comment, that person. There could be somebody right behind them screaming at them and just making their day the fucking worst day.
Yep.
And it's just kind of being mixed up or vented in the wrong ways. You know what I mean? And then at some point, I'm not so quick to block, to be honest with you, because
No.
I like to give people the benefit of the doubt that, it's just a bad moment. And tomorrow you will
Yep.
come back
Yeah.
with, a bright and shiny attitude. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I hope that more people do kind of take that perspective with people and kind of offer a second chance. And, and if you, that's on the other side of things too, you know, there's been times where I've seen where I've comment or something may have struck a nerve or hurt in some kind of way. And, you have to try to go, you can't let that feeling lie either. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I think that at that point, things need to be amended too. So, I think some point, if you know you've done damage, there's no harm in trying to ease that bridge. We're all
Hmm.
human. You know what I mean? Hopefully, they can smoke one out and, address the problem that at hand.
Yeah.
You
Sorry,
know what I mean?
sorry is not a bad word. It's okay to use it. You don't even have to use the word sorry. You could say misunderstanding. I see Bingus in here, and again, I think Bingus is another example of kind of that enlightened vision. But he says how to balance negative and positive polarities. That's the question, and I agree to that because kind of like you're saying, like I really don't do any censoring in chat unless it is just way over the top. I can't actually honestly think of anything that I've deleted. And there have definitely been opportunities where I'm like, yeah, that's pretty mean. But I don't think censorship is the answer. Again, look, like we're all obviously over 21 because we're watching a cannabis show. But we're all grown ass adults here. And like you said, dude, it is totally possible to have a bad day. I mean, I've had bad days and I've said some stupid shit in chat before, but I came back the next day with a better attitude. I didn't come back. I didn't keep harping on the issue or the person or whatever it was. So we are all human and we are going to have some bad days in chat. And yeah, that's why I don't censor it really. And I don't, we're not, who are we to tell people how to act? You really can't. Again, it is the internet and the internet will internet. You hope that everybody will be mature enough. But yeah, I don't think editing is the answer. It's more of just like self policing or just like community of just maybe seeing it go that far and being like, hey, maybe time out or revisit this or diverse, try to change the subject, try to distract from the target. But that's not an easy answer because yeah, if you just start banning or censoring everything that you disagree with or you think is mean, um who knows, who's to say you're not having the bad day and you're just misinterpreting everything.
Yeah, I have to agree. And again, you just don't know. Life's pretty fucking short. You know what I mean? And I've talked many a times about uh, some grudges that I've had with people that have passed that I never will be make amends with. Then that's baggage I have to fucking drag through forever. You know what I mean? I still am trying to find ways to properly vent that out. I've talked about recently just misunderstandings with a friend. You know what I mean? That had helped out. That kind of gave some room. I thought was in a respectful way. And again, kind of hard feelings developed there because it was more the opposite. They wanted, you know what I mean? I hadn't overstayed my welcome, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? And that was it. I just kind of stepped back for a second because it was, I didn't want to overstay or, whatever. But, you know, uh, and there was some, but I'm glad I went back and hashed that out because there was a little bit of, tone there in the air of something, you know what I mean? And again, not maybe not even that, it just may again spiral into something you just don't see. It's easy to, hit and run, never see the damage that, as it caused. And even think about a hit and run. You, it may be seem like a harmless thing. Oh yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? An accident, and I'm not talking about like a person, been in an accident, fender accident or whatever, a little, in a parking lot, bump somebody's car, didn't leave that note. You know what I mean? But, and I'm not saying I've done it, but I know there's people out there that's done it because I've had dented up cars in parking lots. But you don't know how that's going to affect that person. That might be been the family car.
Yep.
That might be in their only transportation. And you know what I mean? And you just bolted like, it don't matter. But it does matter. The things we say do have weight. The way we treat each other does have fucking weight. That has could have long term damage unless we fucking respect.
Yeah.
And, make amends of it.
Does. And this is probably going to sound so cheesy, but again, I'm glad we're around the same age, and probably a lot of people in chat are too. But maybe it was the early 90s. There was a show called Quantum Leap with Scott Bakula. Some people might know him from the Star Trek fame. But Quantum Leap, essentially the whole premise of the show was this guy made this like time traveling device, but he leaps into other people's bodies, and these people are in a particular situation, particular predicament, and the whole show is about putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, seeing the situation from their perspective, learning, and then adjusting your own perspective. And an easy one can go to like Brown versus the Board of Education. This is basically getting rid of all white schools, and that was one of the episodes. Now, something that we just maybe take for granted these days, but can you imagine like having people swearing, spitting, throwing rocks at you just because of the color of your skin, and you want to go get an education? Like, that is so weird of a concept until you actually think about it. And so the short story long, that's kind of what Quantum Leap, oddly enough, taught me. Is it taught me at an early age to put myself in other people's shoes. And that gave me a different perspective on life and in a lot of situations. And like you're saying, that might be the person's family car. I may bump into a person at the grocery store and it spills a little bit of coffee on their shirt. They get pissed. How do I know that they've been living in their car? That's the only shirt they have, and they're on their way to an interview to maybe get a job and move out of the situation. Now, that sounds totally extreme, but it could happen. You never know. And that's something that I wanted to maybe just say too about the whole recent situations. There's no excuses for anything, but you also don't necessarily know what the other person is going through at the time. And sometimes, my dad was always say, sometimes you got to take one for the team. And sometimes you just swallow your pride a little bit and take one for the team. I'm kind of happy or fortunate. Things online really don't get to me. They don't get under my skin. In person, it's almost a different story, which is a little weird. Most people are like pissed off by the internet stuff. They can let stuff in real life go. Internet, fuck off, whatever. In person, different story. But yeah, we gotta try to put ourselves in other people's shoes, I think, and that will help guide us maybe on how to move forward. We may say something stupid, it may be funny, but we don't necessarily have to keep going on it. And it's also good to be able to agree to disagree, because you can go back and forth and just like, some people you're never kind of convinced out of their opinion, and that's fine. But you have to learn when it's the right time. Just be like, you know what, you're a cool dude, fuck you on this one subject, but you're a cool dude.
Well, I think there's a lot of times when joking goes around, I think it's known right from the bat. If you're aiming at somebody's bad spot, you know what I mean, or stumble and fall, uh, I think it may be, they may think it's funny for well, that quick razz, or you know what I mean. Yeah, I sure fell down and hit my knee, but when everybody, or yeah, you're a clumsy fucker, it
Yeah.
goes on and on and on. It's not so funny anymore. But if I think you may. I see it in chat. So no more hair jokes. I don't, I
I'm
think you
fine.
enjoyed the hair. You know
Yes.
what I mean? There's the fun jokes. You're laughing along. You know what I mean? I think there's the intent is from the get, to be honest with you. And I think that resonates. I'd like static electricity, that one bad joke. I think sometimes everybody's like, oh, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Somebody tells you, you got food on your face once. Okay, it's kind of funny, but by the 20th person, you're like, shut up. I knew it. But yeah, no, I mean, keep the hair jokes coming. I've oftentimes am more amused by anything, or yeah, I'm amused by the creativity sometimes. Damn it.
So, and then another thing, an example probably would have been better than the hit and run and the negative side of, and then again, it's still the negative side of things, is the other side of damage impact some of this negativity can have. Kind of judging, I guess, in a way, putting your judgment on something and then trying to get that mob effect on going, beating that drum because you don't like something. And I think that carries over to another area where you don't even think about. Uh, I read it wrong, but it made me think of it's like something that we're using, or it could be a tech that you're promoting. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Uh, whatever could be your cup of tea, and that's what you do, going and may put out books, and this is you go from place to place speaking on this subject. uh who am I to be in chat to go, this guy's fucking stupid, you don't know his shit, you know what I mean? This, and trying to get everybody to jump on that, because ultimately I could be taking money out of your pocket. You know what I mean? That could be the less books you sold. You might need to sell them books. You may need to
Yeah.
feed your fucking kids. That just may be the way you get by. And I just, and again, it's not me, but you know what I mean? Put a comment in there and you got 50 people to jump on that. Well, that could have much more effects that echo on later on. You know what I mean?
Oh
And
yeah.
who wants to do that? Who wants to take away, money out of somebody's pocket or discredit them in a way that may hurt them in the long run like that? You know what I mean? It may have financial impacts for that person, not just community impacts. It may affect that person all the way around in ways you never even seen coming. You know what I mean?
Dude, it absolutely
Or, and again, to
does.
just kind of like tack on to that is like in my instance, and I will use names, whatever, not names, but a product. In fact, maybe I won't. A product that I use.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That I use a lot, that is new to the industry. People scoff at that kind of tech, the way drying cannabis goes.
Mhm.
And again, yeah, you know what I mean? And I've had people talk shit about that. Oh, this doesn't work. Well, who are you to know unless you try and gave it that run? Who are you to discredit this man's sales? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And take that, you know what I mean? And you haven't even tried it. You haven't even smoked nobody's shit that's tried it or nothing. But yet you want to discredit the product and take away the sales or discredit or discourage
Hmm.
sales of the product. You know what I mean? Ultimately setting somebody back just from your opinion, of
Hmm.
something you have no experience with. You know what I mean? So I just think a lot of this negativity has way more fucking impact than people are taking for in chat. You know, people do have feelings. The words do have impacts. You know, words are vibrations.
Hmm.
Vibrations carry. You know, they push and get stronger, and gather as they go. You know,
Right. Snowball down a mountain.
I don't. They do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean that you bring up another good point too. Sometimes it is more than just emotions getting hurt. There are some people out there who are influencers, or they do this as their job, and they actually get paychecks from some of these companies to make videos and do all this stuff. But if the swarm landed on their page for a month, um, that could be fucking with their money, which that's never a good thing. So yeah, there's always unintended consequences. It's like, again, somebody jumps on me and gives me a bad day, and they all do it. Now I'm in a bad mood, and I'm in a bad mood to the cashier in the line, and I kick the dog that's sitting outside. um, things go further than just the immediate target too, like you're saying. And yeah, the vibrations and the ripples. um, yeah, I definitely hear that. It reminds me of a situation, like I got fired from a pretty rad job for going off on somebody completely unrelated, and then this person came back to my employer and told them, like, this person said this and that to me. My employer was like, yeah, fuck you. Dude, that fucked my world up. Like, I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that lesson for me to maybe keep my cooler better in certain situations. Um, but also too, that the unintended consequences that this had, because that person probably maybe wanted to see me in a little bit of heat or a little bit of trouble. They had no idea that I would, or maybe they did, who knows, that I would get fired. And that was a fucking beginning of some downhill shit. So yeah.
you know, I I publicly used to kind of throw out a little negativity about monetization.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't personally do it, and I don't. It's whatever. Them are
Yeah.
my reasons. But a wise person pointed out to me, and again, we need opposing perspective, words that we don't want to hear sometimes because
Yes.
fucking if we didn't hear them, we'd walk around thinking we're fucking right all the time. So,
Yeah.
and I think that's sometimes where a lot of times that hate comes from is that spot where we know where we're fucking up and we're trying it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We're
Mm-hmm.
throwing it out there, but in reality, it's you know
Projecting.
what I mean. It's
Yep.
yeah. So it's I think I squirrel a little bit on that,
Perspective though.
oh, thank you, Chad. We need that perspective that for looking, from the outside to be refreshing. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes we may not want to hear it, but we need to at least hear it and respect it. You know what I mean? Might not be wrong, might not be right, but sometimes it is right, and you have to put yourself in check before you proceed. You know what I mean? And that's for me. That's what this gentleman did. You know what I mean? I was beating my drum about monetization. I don't like it. Yeah, fucking, they shouldn't do it. Whatever. And then this person pointed out to me that I respect, and as a hustler, I respected what he said even more. Sometimes shit craps on you, life craps on you, and you may find an opportunity and you may just fucking
Right.
run with that opportunity because that's what's paying.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've taken a shit job because that's what's fucking paying. You know what I mean? I needed
Yes.
something right there, but that was fucking paying. And roofing for that for me is kind of like, you know what I mean? I do a lot of shit, but man, if I ain't got nothing going, I'm fucking well, roofing is, you know, I'll throw some shingles. It is what it is. I'll take the money, I'll fill the gap. But sometimes you have to take whatever you have and run with it. And
Mhm.
that's their what they're doing, and that's their opportunity to be their family, and that's what they're passionate about. And you know what I mean? Who am I to fucking stand in that? You know what I mean? Who am I to again try to take away from that? Try to fucking whatever. You know what I mean? Again, I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Right.
That's you know what I mean? So anybody I've said anything about in the past about the monetization, about I have seen in the light, even though I'm not going down that road, I respect all you fuckers that do it. You know what I mean? There's a
Yeah.
reason why you whatever, power to you. You know what
Different.
I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes without that perspective, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it hit me like with a ton of bricks because I was like completely beating the fuck that, you know what I mean? I don't want to do it for the money, you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
doing it for
Yeah.
my heart, and you know,
Yep.
it hit me like a ton of bricks that I was like, holy shit! I never thought of it like that, you know what I mean? And it did, it set me back. Sometimes, you know what I mean? You need people, we need the
Mhm.
chat. I don't know how many times I've said something and seen something in chat and the same thing, but not the same instance. Went by,
Right.
you know what? They're fucking right. I need to fucking dial in, you know, turn the dial, focus a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I guess, and what I'm saying is, and I've said this before, and I've said it today to people on my IG about negative comments about people that were on the show. I respect your opinion. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna fucking delete your comment. You know what I mean? You have every right to feel the way you
Yep.
fucking feel. And unless it's ways directed into hurting me or hurting that person, you know, whatever, you're entitled to your opinion. I will respect your opinion. You know what I mean? But don't bring it with negativity and
Yeah.
ill intent. You know what I mean? Other than that, I will respect every fucking word you have to say and shake your hand at the end of it and say thank you and walk away. And that's all I'm asking from everybody else in the community.
Yeah.
Fucking, you're entitled to your opinion. Just don't make it hateful. Don't make it
Mhm.
hurtful. You know what I mean? Bring your jokes. Have fun.
Yeah.
Be the zen place that we want this to fucking be. That's why we're here, man. We're trying to fucking, you know, right the wrong. You know what I mean? This is our zen place. And I guess we're asking you guys to fucking help us keep our zen place zen. You know what I
Yes.
mean? We want to
Yes.
fucking keep coming. We want to keep you coming because we love doing this. And when there's negativity, just like your grow room, when there's bad shit going on in your grow room, you don't want to show up, but you have to show up sometimes. It's just not that fun. And it can be the same thing with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're gonna show up, but when there's negativity, man, it's not as fun for us. And goddamn it, if the fucking problem gets out of control, too bad. Just like the garden, sometimes you got to burn that bitch down.
Spider bites everywhere.
Yeah, you got to start right the fuck over. You got to take it all out, clean the room,
Yeah.
reset up.
That's awesome, man. And you
So
know what? And one thing I want to say to that too, you know, about the just the conversation you had with the monetization, and you know, all just having that different perspective all of a sudden. For me, a good friend is not going to give you the answers that you want to hear, and maybe not the most comfortable thing to hear. So, you know, we're not discouraging like constructive criticism at all. You know, sometimes people, you know, if they're messing up or they're making a mistake or they're going down a bad road, a true friend isn't going to be like, yeah, man, you're doing great. Right on. Keep it up. You know, that constructive input needs to be there. But yeah, like you're saying, it you know, all done in a positive way and done from a caring place. That's the most important thing. um There's a lot of people I've never even met. You're one of them, Eagle. Like, I freaking care about you, man. I would be bummed if you stubbed your toe walking out the door tonight, anything. So it's an honor to kind of have these relationships and build these relationships through chat and through these shows. And we always have the ability, there are shows that are very popular that sometimes maybe they like a little bit more of the gossip, or they like a little bit more of the drama, or a little bit more of just negative vibes. I have the ability to not watch that. That's awesome. When it comes into chat, while a person is presenting, they don't have the option to get off the show. So just keep that in mind too. Like, these people are here for the other people listening. And
that is such a good point. Oh, geez, Chad. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. Is I am trying to leave something here that my kids and other people that some type of legacy. You know what I mean? I want everything that I do and leave behind in this project to be something that I can let my kids watch. In fact, my kids do watch us. And you've seen some of my daughters in chat.
Yep.
And know that that person that is up here doing this could go back tomorrow and see those hurtful words and comment, or maybe watching them live, and like you said, and just being like daggers on how to fucking end this, and fucking just
yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen a person's face change on screen. Like, I'm in chat, I'm seeing chat, I'm like, holy shit. And the person's face on screen is just like, how do I get out of here? I'm not having fun anymore. So yeah, it happens.
I can see that. But on the other side of that, Chad, I want to share this. I've seen that go the other way with positive comments, and I don't know if you've seen that as well. You ever seen something in chat that you've had to bite your cheek? I have totally hammered the fucking my cheek a couple of times, trying not to giggle about the shit I'm reading in chat. And it's happened a few times. Last night, I almost wish I was live when I caught that comment, because I had the best belly fucking laugh I have had in a long time. And that was Ian's comment during the shout outs. And that was, rumor has it, if you play this backwards, Eagle is singing Stairway to Heaven. And I fucking damn near fell the fuck out of this chair laughing when I read that last night. Oh man, thank you. That was probably one of the best comments in chat I've seen in a long time. So it can go both ways. Keep up them positive comments. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Shit like that. I laughed and told people about that today. Oh, that was my tray.
The tray? Oh,
shit. Yeah. Weed and seeds all over my lap. Oh, in my flip flop. Oh.
All right, we'll let you pick up on that one. That was hilarious. I was in chat when that were going, and I will say, brother, you were on a tear last night with the shout outs. You were going so fast. I'm like, it's like he's in 2x speed. Then I'm like, what if I listen to it on 2x speed? And I went back and I listened to you for a couple seconds on 2x speed. And I had the biggest belly laugh too. Oh, dude, you put any lawyer at the end of the commercials to shame. Go back and watch last night's shout outs on 2x speed and make sure you went to the bathroom first. That's all I got to say. Because it's awesome.
Fucking funny.
It's awesome.
That is funny. I never even thought about that.
Last night was next level shout outs though. You were on the tear though. Oh, that was awesome. Yep.
It can be. That's all we're saying is, the community can be such a great place. It could be such an uplifting. Why take it to, you know what I mean? Uh, but one thing I do want to revert back to a little bit is something you just said a minute ago about is I'm right there with you. I was telling my oldest daughter last night. Uh, we were talking about scary movies and shit like that. I don't. There's just something about I like a suspenseful movie, maybe where like the killing or something is implied but not shown. But I don't
Right.
like them horror movies. I don't like to hear them. I don't like the. I don't want that to resonate. I don't even want that to be in the file bank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't even want to have that as a reference sound to anything. You know what I mean? If I could not hear to deal with it, fucking why deal with it? I'm all comedies and fucking once in a while suspense, but yeah, I don't want
Yeah.
to relate to that.
My
I can completely relate to what you said.
Yeah, my wife has got me into that, and it's much better on the psyche later. But when you're young, you don't understand, or maybe you don't appreciate that you can't unsee things, because two girls, one cup. Okay, there are plenty of things out there that you cannot unsee in life once you've seen it. So yeah, when it comes to some of the new horror movies and stuff, I'm like, you know what? I just don't need to see that because I'll probably see it again for the next like 50 years replaying in my head. And no, I've never watched that
Yeah.
video because I heard about it and I knew, again, I'm old enough. You can't unsee shit. I don't need to see stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Sure. Oh Lord. Okay, I
Came
did.
pretty quick on the reference scale there, Jay.
It's on the tip of everybody's mind. Oh Lord, I'll be remembered for that forever now. No. Um yeah, it's again, we kind of choose what we put into our brain. We're choosing positivity. That's kind of what we like to feed our bodies, and our bodies are responding a little bit better to it, and we're happier moving forward. So nothing wrong with that. I like busting balls. I like taking the piss out of people sometimes, but it's always, when it's a two-way street. And I saw earlier. Oh, and I want to real quick. I keep forgetting. Mike Spangler, thank you very much. He was mentioning the episodes that we did covering some medical issues, one about autism in particular. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed that show. But going back to, I think it was Detroit River Rat said it, and this is something that, just in my professional life, I've had to learn, and I use it, and I think that's the way most people should operate. But here it is. He's all praise in public and criticize in private. That's a very good way to operate, in my opinion, for a lot of people. Nobody likes to be dressed down in front of their peers. Not many people like to be talked down to, period. But oftentimes when it's not in a public setting, you'll they'll hear your words better. So yeah, praise in public, criticize in private. That's kind of how I like to operate. And I mean, obviously, if somebody's a raging freaking douche nozzle in public, then you can tell them in public too. But we don't see those people around, so it's great.
That's great, well, very wise words. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Good words
Again,
to live by.
it's just that social acceptance. We're all social creatures, and these last 2 years have been really hard, especially for social people. A lot of people that I know are entertainers. They're in the music industry. That is their life. Is going around and making sure people are having a good time every night. They haven't been able to do that for nearly 2 years. So lost some friends along the way. It's hard. We're social people. So yeah, let's be nice to each other. Everybody smoke. No. What now? You were
Like
talking
that.
earlier.
Cheers, everybody.
Yeah, I'll smoke to that. You were saying the flavor on that. It was the Mac one cross to, what was it earlier?
Primal Punch.
Primal Punch. What you said, the flavor was off the hook, but you didn't necessarily describe what the flavor was. What is it that you're loving about that flavor?
It's Well, it's got the primal taste to it, which I don't know if you've ever grown the primal
Mm-mm.
punch, which it's got that Gorilla Glue in it, but it's like a greasy grape. I wanna call it. Well, there's two phenos to that primal punch, and they go a greasy grape or to a Chiquita banana or more of a I want to say plantain banana, kind of greasy. Okay,
Okay.
and it has like a gassiness, so it's got that. In this case, it's kind of got it wants to lean to it's a nice fine mix between the grape and the banana with a little bit of gas.
Nice.
You know what I mean? If you can vision that, a little grape
Hmm.
and sweet banana, like baby food banana, with a little bit of gas. That's what it is, and it's every bit as tasty as it sounds.
That's,
If
yeah,
you're into
sign me
those,
up.
that yeah, it's good.
Yeah, sign me up for that one. That sounds good. And I'm loving the chat. And big shout out to Kazoo, who typed in there, only the best show ever will you hear douche nozzle followed by wise words. Thanks, Kazoo. You had to make me laugh out loud on that one. I LOL'd.
That is that's
Uh,
what I love about chat in the community too. Is that's what this is for so many people. You know what I mean? So many. I think this community is the joint of the day for a lot of people. You know what I mean? It's that time to kick off your shoes, have some fun. You know what I mean? And that's why we're just trying to again try to address it now before. You know what I mean? No, it
yeah.
is. This place is awesome. It's an awesome thing. I knew of it. I honestly, and again, not to. I always kind of revert back to stuff a bit, but man, that's one of the things I always loved about the whole weed nerd thing. You never seen it coming. He always reminded me like the Hunter S. Thompson of cannabis. That's what I always told him because it was just whenever the fuck, day, night, whatever. And we always, I know, I stopped whatever the fuck I was doing, sat down, rolled a fucking joint. There was times where I was literally, and I know this kind of sounds shitty because if you knew sub and you watched the pattern, intense happiness followed gaps. Much like me, I think he found uh, comfort in being with the community. You know what I mean? Through sickness,
Yeah.
bullshit, whatever. You know what I mean? The family, we nerds were there. You know what I mean? So if you look back at Sub's history, when things were like gold, the weed nerds were far and few. But when life was hectic and you know what I mean, he was there all day, every day. And there was times during that process where my garden was like falling, you know what I mean? There was shit that had to be done. I'm like, God damn, man. So I'd see like whatever kind of come up and we'd get like a week and shit and the garden be all I'm back on point. This is probably a little bit true for me and the way my days off and shit. I can imagine I giggle too sometimes because I think that very same thing. And I bet you, I don't know how many of these people got shit done this week
Oh,
when I wasn't on, and now here I am again.
dude.
We're back in cycle.
Dude, yes, you've fucked my sleep schedule up. I'm just gonna say that. It's been over a year. You fucked up my sleep schedule. And now that we're talking about it too, I need to open my tent because I've been talking, I forgot about it. I'm like, oh, 86 degrees right now. Let me go unzip it.
Yeah, don't overheat the girls.
Yeah, let me just unzip real quick.
That's a soundbite right there. Cheers, everybody in chat. Miss Cass, cheers to you. Rosfa, Loyalty Organics, Mike Spangler, Aldridge 25, Supreme Grape. Who else we got? We just 207. Cheers, everybody in chat. That's funny that you probably didn't hear me. That somebody you mentioned memes earlier, and I hope somebody just didn't clip that one out. I just gotta unzip real quick as you jumped up.
Dude, chat's on fire. I mean, they're giving me ideas left and right. You know, people have always joked about fans only, and then I think it was Rasufa. He's like, bro, his Patreon comes with locks of hair. Hey man, if there's people willing to pay out there, I'll start a Patreon for you. I'll sit there and just comb my hair. No, probably not. But yeah, I keep seeing Red Pill. Red Pill is one person that I've missed a lot lately too, from the shows. He's another happy. He's a happy, good, positive guy. I like that dude.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And again, that's cannabis community, man. I have met so many fucking cool fucking people over the last 2 years. Started out, on the 25th, I'll be starting year 3 of this. Just this phase in my cannabis journey.
Wow.
And I'm looking so forward to starting year 3, getting to meet so many more cool folks, hearing their stories, welcoming them into the weed nerd world and having them hang out. You know what I mean? I love hearing, how people grow, where they live, what they do, and they're not fucking. I love the whole thing, man. I really do. There's so much more to the cannabis community than the plants, the gardens. Like you said, you DJ, the music. You know what I mean? I love that aspect. Hearing about people's day, shit like that. You know what I mean? People may bitch about sometimes some of the weed nerd worlds aren't necessarily 100% cannabis content, but it's the weed nerd world. It's fucking the weed nerd fucking world. The
Yeah.
people who make it up in their lives, their journeys, their gardens, their fucking whatever. So I love hearing that. You know what I mean? So I keep it
I,
up. Keep it up, everybody.
yes, I do too. You know, I support that. I do enjoy the weed nerd world because we do kind of go from like topic to topic. There's so many different personalities and viewpoints involved in the show that it's fun to see people, spitball. And I'll be honest, I don't agree with everything. That's fine. I don't have to. But one thing this last couple of years have taught me, which I really enjoy too, is don't discount somebody just because you don't agree with maybe one or two things about them. You can look past that and find a lot of 10, 20, 30 things that you do agree about and talk about those things. And so that's been a fun thing. And yeah, that's where the weed nerd world is awesome because it's always a rolling conversation with a little bit of weed tossed in there too.
I will get back to that, but you brought up another good point there about the one or two little things. We are such a bigger picture. You can do that. God, again, life's too short for that shit, and it's so easy to do with everything we do. Everything we do. Fucking TV has negative side effects. It's phone you share. You know what I mean? The food, the ingredients. You know what I mean? If you look into anything hard enough, there's going to be that one or two things you don't like. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you still like the greater, you still like that fruit. You still like your bone. But whatever, it's fucking radiating in your pocket or whatever. But there's, again, that's a whole another rabbit holes, wormholes, weed nerd worlds. You know what I mean? That's, and that, and again, kind of going back to that aspect of it, that's what I love about it. You know what I mean? There is no fucking way. I love cannabis. I love this plant. I fucking all day, every day. I smoke it from the time I get up and look at that, whatever you want. I smoke this shit from the time I get up, from the time I go to bed. I talk about it. doing it, growing it, or whatever. I'm talking about the show when I'm not doing this, and you know what I mean. But if I had to do this 365 days a year and just talk, hey, what are you cloning on today? What are you talking? What are your seeds doing? What's your IPM? I think I would smack myself in the face before every fucking show. I couldn't do it. You know,
That voice.
I personally need that variety. You know what I mean, Nick?
That was like the best Chad voice, not me, the Chad voice ever, dude. How you doing? Oh my god. Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. Oh man. I'm sorry, that was good. Yeah, it is. It's hard. It's a lot of it's fun and it's rewarding at the same time too. But yeah, it's not just a camera on, camera off. It's a lifestyle. Cannabis is a lifestyle, man. Cannabis is you when you're at this point, you're there is no halfway, you know. You're either in it or you're just like, yeah, that's nice. And you can usually tell within the first 5 minutes of talking to somebody if they're glossing over in the eyes or they're asking you about nutrients. So yeah.
It's a great place. I love I do. I love the community. It's
Yeah.
it's you know what I love even more about, and I've seen more of this lately, is I was kind of touching on it last night on the show, is the sub connections. You know,
Mhm.
at first I think the YouTube and people that watched a lot of this type of content seen the Mexican connection and a lot of the events that we have and the camaraderie that went on, and kind of went, man, I like that. I wish I almost lived in Michigan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as of lately, I've seen people kind of hooking up on the sub level. Hey, I live in fucking Nevada. You guys know who I'm
Yes.
talking about. I live in Las Vegas. Yeah. And then, hooking up and making, the weed nerd world, the kind of community, however you want to call it. I'm not going to be offended. You know what I mean? Fucking, that much smaller.
Mhm.
And I think it's amazing. I think it's fucking amazing that people are connecting in a real life manner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not just
Yeah.
the internet shit, but it's it's everything that I was hoping that I would see when I started this. You know what I mean? Not just this, but in cannabis in general.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I seen that every time I went to an event. That's why I love the events.
Yeah.
Everything I just said about the Michigan stuff, the hooking up, hanging out, what you doing, fucking, what are you making and stuff. I love all that shit. I love, you know what I mean? Awesome time.
Missing yeah, missing that people getting back to the human connection. And that is cool too. For one, as a person who would like travel to different states, you're like, okay, where am I going to get some weed? Like, do I have to go to the skate park? Which sucks saying that because I'm a skater and I always resented that, but yeah, go to the skate park, you usually find a sack. But now there's people all over that we know, and yeah, there are a lot of legal states, but I mean, in a dream world, how rad would it be to take an RV around the country for like 4 or 5 months and just stopping by all the weed nerds' houses and having a joint? And that's totally possible because every single one of these people would invite you over. They'd be like, "Hey, this is my last joint, but let's smoke it," you know? And I do love that. And it is the smaller connections of it. And I do think that when we go back to having a lot of shows, I can't wait for that, man. I can't wait for all of us to like shake hands, like be in the flesh. And you've kind of experienced it in Michigan already, but Washington and West Coast is a little different, but everything's getting back to where it looks like there might be events. So that'll be a good day, man. I think that'll be a lot of healing and a lot of positive vibrations as well.
It's a special thing when people get together, just like any time like a concert or anything else. That vibe you get when well, I ain't telling you nothing. You were just talking about the music scene. When you get out and you go to a concert and shit, and that music's playing is fucking practically taking you to the event. You know what I mean? Your feet aren't even touching. But when you add cannabis to that, you know what I mean? That same vibe.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like
Love
12 and
those
12-year-old
days.
boys again, just freaking laughing and giggling and having a good time. Yeah, no, I look forward to I look forward to those days. That'll be fun. I see people in chat, road trip. Yes. No, Shredder, my wife does not have a private jet. I would really love it if she did. Um, but yeah, she doesn't, unfortunately. We did just rebook our Amsterdam trip. So I'm looking forward to that. That's something we got coming up. Excited for that.
That'd be awesome. Should
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. It'd be, we went there a couple years ago and we were set to go in February again. We'd bought our tickets in November, but in December, Netherlands went on complete lockdown again. And so things were, you want to go to the museums and you want to do a few things if you're traveling that fucking far. So we decided to wait till they're back open again, and they are. So in May we'll be Netherlands bound. Cheese and haze. Yes.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I'd like some good cheese. It's been a minute. It seems to be that's the curve right now, isn't it? That everybody's kind of wanting that cheese
I
again.
think I
Not
think
so many people can go to Amsterdam and go snag it because that's probably your best
it
bet.
is, dude. It is. Obviously it exists here. I don't know the people, but I haven't had a good cheese for over a decade. And when we went to Amsterdam a couple years ago, the Big Buddha cheese and the White Widow were our favorite smokes. And yeah, I want to go on a cheese hunt. And I don't know if it's because people are maybe kind of giving up on skunk or they just kind of want something foul, but it does seem like cheese is kind of making another popping its head up again, which is cool because I would love to smoke a good cheese.
You know, the first time I actually, you laugh at this whatever you want. First time I really had some good cheese. I really thought because the guy was growing it, I learned a lot from him. He was, I don't know, where the fuck is it? It might be packed up already. I'm sure it is. Uh, I've shown him before. He's one of the people here uh, in Michigan that helped get Michigan medical cannabis going. He's one
Oh,
of the
wow.
people that went door to door, did all the petition work,
Wow.
really beat that drum. He was first. I mean, I should actually get him on. I should get Charles on the show. Fucking, he was the first fucking person I know that like way back was like full. I mean, there's cannabis. I don't even know that many people about like us now that are in as deep as he was then. You know what I
Wow.
mean?
Yeah.
Because he was cannabis quotes, cannabis milk, cannabis. You went to his house. There was like literally nothing that you couldn't talk about that had weed in it or whatever. And he was the first person that like pushed legalization here and growing. And oh man, he was an awesome dude. He was an awesome dude all the way around. And so the first time that I ever had cheese, I had gotten some from him. And when he handed me the bag, he was like, and he was super excited. Yeah, I actually heard him talk about it before, but when he references, he's like, "This is the." He even did like the baggy flip. If you ever remember that, you know what I mean. It was there it is right there. He did it just like this. He was like, This is the cheese. And it just kind of rolled and flopped out just like one of those like bang signs, basically. It might as well have said cheese right there on the
Oh,
bag.
shit.
And as he said it, he had the ding, the biggest cheese. And I just like, I took it home and rolled it up, and he said it was cheese, and smiled like a big motherfucker. It must make you laughy. I had no, yeah. I figured that's why they called it the cheese, just because he was so, you know what I mean? The presentation, you know what I mean? The whole thing. I was like, this shit must really be some good mood shit right here. It must give you that cheese that he had. You know what I mean? That was the
Dude.
first introduction to the taste of cheese.
That's awesome. I was talking with my wife the other day about bags, like when the last time you saw something in a bag, but the second you mentioned that flip, I'm like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. You're like, check this shit out. Whooping. Yeah, slap it on the desk,
I'll tell you, in remembrance of like that era, I was downstate not so long ago, maybe a year ago. I guess 6 months. COVID times. That's like not so long ago in COVID times. I was down there like a year ago, but I needed some baggies because I was taking care of my patients while I was down there. Most of my patients are down around him, and I was like, yeah, because I keep everything in jars, so I have to not have to have it in jars. And I'm like, you got some baggies? I need to weigh some stuff out for my patients. And he brings over the old school, like he got weed in.
Oh,
The
wow.
whole like
You
sandwich
reuse your
baggies
bag.
with the lick the fucking top and roll it up. I'm like, yeah, ain't nobody doing that anymore.
Oh, dude, those were the shit. Of course,
especially
you
in
wanted
these
those,
days, man. Man, you go fucking. There you go. Whoop. Yeah.
dude. You wanted that though. Nobody wanted the Ziploc because the Ziploc would always unroll on you. It was all about the spit lock, the spit lock, not the Ziploc.
That's funny. A lot of people won't even relate to that right there. A lot of people don't probably won't even know what that is.
No, and that dude, to even deeper on that, the Ziploc always weighed like a 0.2 or 3 more grams more than the regular bags. So if you weighed the scale with yeah, they were shiesty shit when you're selling drugs in grade school or not grade school, junior high, allegedly. Whatever.
Allegedly. Yeah.
That's fucking 30 years ago. Come on, man. Yeah. Oh shit, that's hilarious. My cheeks are hurting. People in chat are freaking cracking me up. This is a good
There's
night.
Red Pill.
Yay, all right.
Say
Oh,
his name enough. It's about time. Cheers, Red Pill.
pops
We've
in and
been talking about you for weeks.
great Alaska like that. He said 10 points for showmanship. But you did, didn't you? You always had that one dealer who like went that extra mile to like sell that shit to you.
Oh yeah.
Of course, those
I
are the
used to
people.
fucking one guy I used to get from had a desk, and it was pretty much top drawer, bottom drawer. It was before shelves. He had pretty much the brick shit and then the good shit down here. You know what I mean? And you had you got any good shit, and you could tell. You could actually tell by the quality of what you were getting from the grab. If you went like this, you was like, oh man,
Yeah. Shout out to the triple beams. Shout out to anybody who knows how to use those.
still owns a set. Probably still use them.
Yeah.
Because if you own a set, you're probably stuck in your ways and you probably never threw that thing out. It's still probably the most accurate thing you will attest to.
True story. True story.
So, yeah, I'm glad you came in and discussed this with me for sure. It needed
Thank
to
you.
be talked about, and I think it came from one of the most respectful people I know in the community that watches out for other people and tries to present things in the best way they can possibly present it. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Thanks, man. I got mad respect for you, as does the community. And again, this is you're a great person to have the conversation with. There's a lot of things in life that can shake us, but you always, again, you lead by example. You're human. We all have our ups, we all have our downs. But even when you've been down, and trust me, we can tell, we notice because we love you, man. Um, you still go out of your way to be happy and to make others shine. So yeah, what a better person to have this conversation, because again, some of this could come off, if it were the wrong person, it could come off as trying to tell people what to do and how to act. That's absolutely not what this is about. This is coming from a place of caring. And so I thank you for being here to have that, because you've demonstrated time and time again what you do is coming from a place of caring. So yeah, thank you. And thank you for the kind words too. But it's been good, Eagle. We needed to do this. It's important to get out in front of these types of things. 'Cause, again, like I said earlier, a good friend is going to tell you some hard truths. And kind of a hard truth, maybe right now, is like, hey guys, we're fucking up a little bit. Let's be better. Uh, I guess that sounds like I'm telling you what to do, which I just said we're not. But I think you all know what I mean, right?
you, I think it was the praise in public and what
Yeah,
was it?
criticizing. Yeah, praise in public, criticize in public
It
or private.
in this case that would have been tough to do. So tough subject to do in a like private. So this is everybody's public DM.
Booyah. Copy all. Have they checked it? Yep. Seen. We know you read the message, fuckers.
I love y'all though. Seriously, man. We just wanted to address it before, you know what I mean, before it got too far out of control.
Yeah.
And because like we said, man, people deserve second chances and people deserve sorries in some cases. I'll throw that out there, that's for sure. But in general, man, we don't want to lose anybody.
No.
I don't want to lose anybody. I don't want anybody to be discouraged from taking part in this community, taking part in this chat, taking part in cannabis in general. It would 100% break my heart to know that showing up and doing this night after night put a monkey wrench or fucking hard feelings in anybody's heart or garden. So again, I thank you for helping me, helping you address this issue. For sure. I got much respect for you, brother, and I wish you nothing but success for sure. Not just
Thank you.
now, but in life for sure.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Any last hurrahs before we check out and probably start out the We Nerd World here in a little bit? What time we got? 1-7. Yeah, we'll start it up in a few minutes. So,
Yeah. No.
any final wise words to reflect on?
Um.
Or fun words?
Yeah.
I'll take either.
Be good to each other. Be good to each other. That's all I'll say. And yeah, again, thank you, Eagle, and thank you, chat, and thank you, community. Your guys' positivity and words of encouragement too fucking do a whole lot for us and lift us up as well. So when
Yeah.
we're having bad days,
Yeah.
it may seem like a little comment to you, but thank you. It means a lot to us.
Great point, Chad. Great point. I don't know how many times I've read them DMs and was like, great point, brother. With that being said, though, you know what I want, Chad.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm like, oh crap, has he not been recording the whole time? No. Okay. Yes. What episode are we on?
This is 593.
Awesome. All right. Hey everybody, this is Chad Westport, episode 593 of fucking talking shit with Eagle, one of the most badass, big ass, loving teddy bears on the planet, coming correct with the cannabis info every freaking night. Keep it locked here and be well, guys.
Well, that's one that's going to make me blush every time I hear it. I'll take it, though.
Yes.
With that being said, brother, hopefully we'll see you in the Weed Nerd world in a minute. I don't know, though. I seen you rubbing those eyes. It might have been a long day today.
I'm crying. Like, it's so funny. Like, my cheeks hurt. My eyes are watering. Like, this has been a good time, man.
I'm glad. I enjoy your company, brother. With that being said, you guys empty your bladders, fill your trays, and I know I will see you here in a few minutes in the Weed Nerd world. Maybe not Chad, but hopefully so. We know we'll at least see him lurking in the chats for sure, as we always do. With that being said, you guys know the deal. Random acts of kindness do save lives. Don't be afraid to do something nice for somebody, even if it is just words, compliments. As long as it comes from the heart, it may change their world.